Hey guys, what's up? It's Nathan Wilson. I wanted to bring to you some content today about the newest addition to the family here. We have a new to me BMW 535i. It's a 2008 and it's equipped with the N54 B30 engine. That is a twin turbo inline six and it is a blast. I am so happy to have this car. I can't express to you how awesome this car makes me feel as a driver. So I wanted to go ahead and do a little driving impression with you guys and go from there. So this is the E60 generation not 5 series, and this is my favorite model. A lot of people will say that the E39 is the best, and I can understand why they say that, having driven most of the E39 lineup. The 525 I really enjoy it for what it was. The 540 that I owned for a short period of time, 6-speed, that was an awesome car. And having driven the M5 variant, albeit a low mileage one with 10,000 miles on it, just a mint car. I can see why so many people love that car. It's a very lovable car. It's awesome. But in my opinion, there is not a better driving 5 Series than the E60. And there's a couple reasons to that. And I think this car is equipped with some of those reasons. First of which is the active roll bar system. Now, the active roll bar system, the best way I understand it, uses the power steering hydraulic pressure to pump up the sway bar to combat body roll. So when you're going around a corner, it has sensors that monitor body roll, and when you go around a corner, it hydraulically pumps up the side of the sway bar necessary to prevent body roll. So what you're treated to is a car that doesn't lean at all in a corner, doesn't brake dive, doesn't squat under acceleration. You're greeted to a car with like unprecedented body control. I haven't driven a car 2-door, 4-door, 3, 5, or 6-door that has the body control that this car does. It is absolutely awe-inspiring. The steering also is impeccable, even more so than the 540 I had, which had a fresh suspension on it. This steering is... The 540 used a steering box. This is a traditional rack and pinion hydraulic setup, and even when you compare it to my dad's F10 car, which honestly its weakest points are the steering and suspension, this car is just in another league of athleticism. Now, the F10 is faster than 550 guys. Anyway, that car is fast, and it is luxurious, and it is nice, and it is beautiful. But the E60 has a level of athleticism that was neutered from the 5 Series lineup, I believe, when they phased it out. So that being said, this car, the way it handles in corners, the way that it rides, is just unlike anything else I've ever experienced. Now, I haven't experienced a whole lot of supercars and stuff like that, but I'm not comparing this to supercars. I'm comparing this to other sedans out there. This is probably easily the most driver-involved sedan I could recommend to anybody at almost any price. That being said, the motor. So, like I said, this car is equipped with the N54 B30, which is a twin turbocharged inline 6 that has double Vanos variable valve timing, variable cam timing rather, and the engine is a sweetheart. It's my first turbocharged engine in ownership. I never owned a turbocharged engine prior to this, and it's also my third 6-cylinder. My first straight 6, but third 6-cylinder. The Camry's a V6, and then my previous Camaro was a V6. This is easily the smoothest engine out of any engine I've ever had. Very close to the V8 and the 540, which was really smooth as well. You don't feel this engine even running. And when it builds power, it is so smooth, so linear. I mean, it makes peak factory spec, peak torque is at 1400 RPM. This car actually is rated at 300 horsepower, 300 foot-pounds from the factory, and this car actually has an MHD Stage 1 Plus tune on it, so it bumps the stock factory 8 PSI to around 15, 16 pounds, making approximately 80 to 100 more horsepower, and you feel it every day. Every day you feel that extra power. Rather you are just pushing the pedal down to pass, or you're foot hard down, it doesn't matter. The extra power is always apparent over stock. Driving this car, hustling through some nice roads here, it's just the steering is so communicative. I know exactly what the wheels are doing. I know exactly where the body is. I know exactly where my wheels are placed. No body roll, zero nilch, none that's perceptible to me, at least. Big bump there, sorry. The automatic transmission was probably the thing I was worried about the most. But to be completely honest with you, I miss manuals. But this is the 6 HP ZF automatic transmission box, and I'll tell you what, it definitely has some of that excellent ZF 8-speed DNA in it. And the 8-speed is the best. It is the best torque converter transmission out there. I don't care what anybody says. I've driven the 10-speed from Ford and GM. I've driven it in the ZL1. I've driven it in the Raptor. I've driven GM's awful 8-speed in the Corvette, the truck. That ZF box is hands down the best shifting automatic transmission in existence. Torque converter automatic. You feel a lot of that DNA in this box. It's not as good as the 8-speed. It's not. Which we're going to fix soon. Hopefully, we'll do a comparison, maybe between the 8-speed and the tuned 6-speed here. But this transmission is awesome. It's imperceptible. The shifts are always fast, which is what I love. One of my biggest gripes about the Camry, even though it's a new car, is some of the speed of the shifts. It gets real lazy in normal D mode, not the sport mode. The sport mode of the Camry's transmission actually is pretty damn good. But at this car, even in D mode, it's always clicking off shifts. It's great. It's never lazy. It never slushes into a gear. It's always on point. It always shifts with decent amount of urgency. Sport mode is even more so. I'm not sure what else sport mode does, but it seems like the turbos are more ready to go in sport mode. And that could just be a function of the transmission. It could be the computer doing some trickery with the wastegates. I don't know. But the turbos are always ready to go in sport mode. They're always spooled up, ready to get down the road. So on these back rows, I mean, you got the engine that just seems like power never ends. A little bit on the top end it does. I know that's because the boost tapers at the top end. So revving it out to 7,000, the boost actually does taper off a little bit up there. Plan on fixing that with some future mods. But nevertheless, just driving this car on some nice roads, you got a seemingly endless power band from nil to damn near 7,000. And the chassis is so communicative, even compared to the 3 Series 335. I would almost venture to say, I'd boldly say that this chassis is better with the active suspension. I mean, the way that this handles corners is just unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. And that's, I could say that from driving Vets. I could say that from driving my modified F-body, which is by no means the end-all be-all. But even driving some of the newer BMW products, this car flat out handles. And the brakes, God, the brakes are amazing. You step on the brakes and it just stops. Like the braking power, the modulation, the braking, the pedal, you hit the pedal and something happens immediately. There's hardly no dead zone. And this car actually needs some attention on the rear rotors, which I'm getting to. So all of this to say is that there is just no comparison when it comes to having 4 doors to the athleticism that the E60 offers. The active suspension is so much above what they did on the E39. It is amazing. The 540 handled great. It really did. I'm not downing the E39 because it is one of the best 5 Series BMW has made. And I believe that they expounded on that into the E60 generation. Looks are always subjective, so I won't go over that. But when you compare it to just the way that they drive, the E60 is just in a league of its own, even when compared to the F10 and the G80 successors. It just has an unmatched level of athleticism in the 5 Series lineup. The E34 was good for what it was, but you got that 90 steering that is very slow ratio to turn the corners, and also sorry, you got to deal with the body roll. So as far as any type of, if you're looking for driver involvement, if you're looking for driver feel, confidence, and you're looking for just an all-around excellent car, and you need 4 doors like me, you have a family, you have kids, you got to tote them around, this is it, man. Now we can definitely go into different engine options where, the M5, and the reason why I picked this engine, which, by the way, I absolutely loved my dad's engine in his 550i M Sport, the N63. Excellent motor. That V8 was awesome. The reason why I picked this motor is tunability. That's it. Tunability. Upload a tune on this car, it picked up 80 to 100 horsepower like that. Bam. Nothing more than a tune. Don't even have a K&N air filter. It's bone stock in the blow-off valve. So that's it. I mean, completely stock. We have some more mods coming up in the future involving some exhaust, etc. But I mean, the tunability is just flat out impressive. We got some bigger turbos in the plans. We'll see how that goes. But we got in the state of tune that it's in now, the car's fast. The car's fast. Compared to the Camaro, I don't feel like it's as fast as the Camaro was. Camaro had a little bit more, probably a lot more power, but it's getting there. And the car's still stock. So that being said, that's why I picked this motor. This car is actually, to my knowledge, loaded. It's got the cold weather package. It's got the M Sport package. It's got the sports seats. It's also got the Logic 7 sound system. It's got navigation. The Logic 7 sound system's amazing. I know there's better sound systems out there. My dad's being one of them in the F10. He's got the Bang & Olufsen, I believe. Amazing. But this Logic 7 system is phenomenal. I mean, I have no desire to upgrade it whatsoever. I'm completely content with where the sound system's at. No desire to upgrade it. I might want to upgrade it to some Bluetooth audio, but that's more interface. I'm talking about as far as speakers, amplification, subs, and all that go. No need. And the drive is awesome. I'm sitting here driving in traffic, no problems whatsoever. Car's smooth as ever. Just awesome. I'm really happy with this purchase. I never thought I'd have the opportunity to own an E60 5 Series. They're so expensive. When they became, guys, I didn't want to hide any of the maintenance costs from you guys. It is very expensive to maintain one of these. The parts are expensive. They just are. These cars are so over-engineered. There's so much going on in them. There's so many different things that intricacies that you just got to know about, So I just bought the car. I spent a lot of money on this car since we bought it, and I am still very happy with it, but there's no hiding that I have had to spend a lot of money to get this car to where it's at today. But this example was also fairly neglected. You can tell on the outside, this car is definitely aesthetically needs some work. Now, the way I am about stuff is that I want to get things mechanically the way I want them to be, and then I'll go, say, paint the car, fix scratches, replace bumpers, etc., etc. But this car actually was neglected, so it did need a lot of attention immediately, and it did need some stuff. There's some stuff that broke other stuff because it was neglected. So that being said, hopefully you guys have learned some stuff from this review. Why my opinion about the 5 Series of the E60 being probably the most driver engaged BMW in my opinion, especially in 5 Series guys. The E92 is another excellent example of that. But But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like, subscribe for more content. We're definitely having some more stuff coming to this car. So if you want to see what plans I have done for this car, or the things that I'm buying as I'm doing it, or the things that I plan on doing, definitely you want to subscribe, because this car is nowhere near where it's going to be when I'm done with it. And 400 horsepower right now, give or take, 20, is very mild compared to what it's going to be. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and we'll be here for you to check out some more content. Have a good one, guys.